everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jasmine, part of the Eternal Circle, also known as your coffee addicted psychic mama. Yeah. Feeling a little bit punchy today. So, funny story. I went to do a video for this painting a couple of days ago. And it was a lovely video, and I was mindlessly going through my phone, deleting some pictures that I didn't need anymore, and I accidentally deleted the video that I made for this. So I will be redoing this video. But at least you get to see a finished painting. So I just finished it up today with all its touches, its final touches today. It looks awesome. I'm happy with the outcome of it. So here we are. We have the painting. Alright, we have a nice town setting behind in the harbor, a couple of ships. We have our main merchant ship in the front. And we have our main past life man in the front here. Then we have a couple of sacks down on the wooden harbor floor. And we have a few animal symbologies and a bag of coins off to the side here. Okay. So there was some symbology that came into the mix while I was painting. Usually doesn't happen when I typically do past life, but it was symbology that I think the spirit guides wanted to throw in for this particular person. So when I tapped in, this was the scene of this person's past life that kept coming and coming and coming. I wasn't getting any further along with this past life. So as soon as I started doing the sketching and started putting paint to paper, that's when a little bit more would open. So sometimes past lives will show themselves little bits at a time. And sometimes I'll get a lot of information, sometimes I'll get a little bit of information. This past life gave me some information here and there. So what I was able to track down was that the ship itself was a merchant ship. So the ship was sailing from France to India. And how I knew this was the fact that I could see the ship in the France harbor and then also being and docking over somewhere where it was warmer, sandy, and had the kind of like the long palm frond trees as well. The other thing that I could see was that one of the bags that were on the harbor floor had been ripped open a little bit, and this spice was coming out from the bag. Alright, and the spice that I could smell was of a curry scent, and they also showed me a bit of saffron as well while I was being shown these spices. So to me they were doing some trading between France and India, which I found that was occurring around at that time, around early or late 1600s to early 1700s. The French were also trying to start an encampment, I suppose, over in India. There was a lot of fallout with that, especially between the French and the British. There was a lot of fights about starting their own kind of trading posts, I suppose, from what I was reading. Very intriguing read, if you want to research that on your own. So I was reading about that. Apparently there was a lot of ships that got turned around when they went from going from France to India back in the earlier days when the trading started to occur. Once again, very interesting information. I believe that the ship that this individual was on may have been one of the ships that got lost, or weathered, one or the other. So what had happened is I had the flash of this harbor. This harbor is very, very beautiful, very jam-packed full of people. So like there was a lot of mixed classes, a lot of poor, very middle class, and upper class, and they didn't seem to be bothered by one another. Just seemed to go on their daily day. Everyone seemed to be having some part to do with the harbor, and had something to do, something going on. Lots of conversations to be had. We had someone off in the distance telling stories of some sort, or possibly doing some kind of biblical passages. From what I could hear, there was a lot of shouting across, and you could hear it from across the water. So if we take a look in the painting here, if you see that little orange speck there, you can see that there's a person standing up there, and he's the guy that's shouting. He's really using his voice and trying to amplify that. And it's kind of like a concave, so his voice is bouncing off the sides of whatever this is, and it's really carrying the sound of what he's saying. Of course, I don't speak French, so the language is lost to me, unfortunately. But from what I can tell, it's a very busy little place. The harbor was more of a horseshoe type of harbor. Okay, so most of the town was built on the outside of the harbor, in this horseshoe type of harbor. One of the flashes that I got while doing this past life was of this young man who was probably about in his late teenage years, so about maybe 18, very early 20s, so anywhere between 18 and 20, 21 maximum. Like, he was extremely young. There was the flash of him underneath the deck of this ship, drinking with his crew members, very, very merry, very, a lot of jaunty tunes going on, a lot of fun to be had down below decks. The next flash I got was kind of like the hangover day, so everyone's kind of moving slower, but still maintaining their chore duties. He wasn't so much as being in charge of anybody. He was more of like a deckhand, so someone who was scrubbing the floors, someone who was making sure the masts were tied, making sure things that were stored properly, prepared properly, in case an attack or a storm were to come. The last piece that I got from this past life was a very weathered storm. So a lot of rain, a lot of wind, okay, a lot of panic and anxiety throughout the crew, a lot of yelling, okay, back and forth. And then at the end of the storm, that's exactly where they didn't show me anymore. So, and it was a very difficult moment to watch, especially for someone who can't swim. It was very difficult for me to watch that, to see everybody in panic mode while they're trying to weather this storm. And they kind of just cut me off at that point, and they didn't show me anymore. So if I were to random guess, I would say that the ship either sank or it got turned around and didn't make it to its next stop. Sometimes they don't show me the end because the person who is receiving the past life doesn't want to know the end, is not comfortable with knowing the end or the death. They just want to know just what the past life was about. And that's fine. As we get into symbology, Okay, we get into looking at the animal symbology in this painting. We got the dog. Okay, the dog is about loyalty, fidelity. Um, Also, the dog is a pack animal. Okay, very family oriented. Watches out for the family. Okay, sticks together with the family. And it's also about a reminder of playfulness too. So not taking everything seriously and gotta find a little bit of play in life, right? Um, Also a very loving nature to be had too. So the dog has come into your life trying to remind you that you need to have a little bit of playfulness, and it's also kind of like a reminder that family comes first, type of idea, although that is already probably a personality trait that you already have. So it's just a reconfirmation, almost like a past life to now stem. Okay, the rat. The rat is very resourceful, very adaptable in any situation that is thrown at it. Rat is very good at facing any kind of challenge that is to be had. So if there is any situations or challenges that are coming up or you have faced, you're able to navigate that without any kind of second thought. You're able to navigate that very smoothly, which is also a very good trait to have. This gentleman here, he didn't have really any family. To me, he was either on his own or he was orphaned. There was just no family connection there for him. The only family connection that he had was his crew members or his crewmates. And he was a very quiet gentleman, very much in his own headspace, very fantasy oriented, head in the clouds, romantic, like hopeless romantic type. The only time that he was actually very boisterous was when he had the vino. Other than that, very hardworking gentleman, and would rather be out to sea than be on land. He thirsted for adventure, and that's what he got, was adventure. Very much, I think that's a carryover for this person as well, is that would rather be out doing things than being stuck in your house if he could be, right? I think this person would rather be out on a ship or out by the ocean or the lake or what have you, and just taking in those waves. I got that feeling that being housebound is one of those things that just kind of makes you aggravated and stir crazy. The money bag was a very interesting symbol. I had to do a little research on that one, just to figure out, okay, well, there's two symbologies to that, really. The bag itself is about the self. It's about how you view your life, right? Everything that we have is in a bag. Look at us, like we are a bag. We're a physical vessel housing a spiritual vessel, right? So your bag is looked at or viewed as a symbol of life. Your life, your possessions, your this and that and the everything. Coins are also a measure of prosperity or wealth. When I saw the bag was mostly full, except for the few coins that were out of it. So to me, that means that you don't seem to really have that much of a tie to that materialistic life, right? And that there might be some sort of abundance that might be coming by that may form itself as material, it may not. But there is an abundance that I have a feeling that will be coming by for you. Just like I said, abundance doesn't mean like $1 million or anything, but it does mean that there's some kind of material or some type of food in the tummy or roof over the head type of situation that you're not expecting, right? Perhaps even in small doses. At least that's what I'm picking up on, right? The money of the bag, like I said, to me it's one of those things where you're not exactly concerned about it. this person is not exactly concerned about material things, which is absolutely fine. Some people are not material people. Okay, so that's the reason with the money pouch. Like I said, the money pouch has already stored a lot of material things, already stored enough coins, so there is comfortability there. But at the same time, don't really care about it, which is a good thing. As far as symbology goes, there wasn't a lot of symbology in this painting. Besides the animals in the coin bag, the herbs, the spices, was more, I think it was more of a question from this person regarding their health matters, which I'm not going to discuss here. I think that's more of a personal thing. So, I'm going to leave it at that. And that is how that past life painting came about. I think there's a lot of carryover from this past life to this person now. There's a lot of traits that are pretty similar. Like I said, quiet until the vino hits. Or the fun, I should say. Fun hits, yeah. But definitely out for adventure for certain. The adventure part really struck me. Like, can't seem to be contained in one spot. Need to be out, feeling restless. Got that traveling blood in you. That's what I'm picking up. Traveling blood. You and me both. Anyways, so that is the painting. I'll show it to you guys once more, since I don't drop my coffee. Woohoo. Okay, so hopefully I'll be able to mail that out tomorrow, hopefully, because it's almost, 4 o'clock, so I'll be able to mail that out tomorrow, and yeah, thanks for watching, and I think I'll do one more video, and do a tarot video, and then I'll call that a day. Ciao!